Well, I spent 3 years of my life in Australia. In actual fact, I didn't spend 3 years, I spent 18 months. But 18 months in Australia is like 3 years anywhere else. And the Australians are very proud of the country. I left London on Friday at 4:30 in the afternoon. I flew all through Friday, all through Saturday, all through Sunday, and I arrived after 36 hours on an aeroplane. I arrived and see my eyes are hanging out. And the fellow says, "How did you find Australia?" I said, "I got off the bloody plane and it was there." The Australians actually, I know the Irish have a funny way of talking, but the Australians have also a funny, they add IE onto a lot of words. I was there around Christmas and I said to a fellow, I said, "What are you going to do on Christmas?" He said, "Well, I think I'll get up, Chrissy Day, I'll have my brekkie, I'll pick up the cozzy, go for a dippy, watch a game of footy, have a game of drinkies, and then I'll come home and have a yummy, yummy Chrissy Din Din." He was 64 years of age. In Australia, they love the booze. But the beer is so cold. You have to have gloves to pick up the glass. 3 beers and your lip is like... Everything's got to be cold. And you get a tramp, a wino, goes into a chemist shop and said, do you have a bottle of methylated spirits?" And the chemist said, "Yes," gives him one. He said, "What's the matter? Don't you have a cold one?" They drink. I arrived there and somebody said, "Would you like a schooner?" I thought he was going to give me a boat. And they're always telling me, as soon as you arrive in Australia, they say, "Watch out for the sharks." And they don't say a shark will eat you or chew you up. They say he'll take you. You're going to be taken by a shark. And I think to myself, well, if he takes me, he'll die of alcoholic poisoning. And I'm swimming. But in the back of my mind, sharks. I'm thinking of it. And I'm swimming away. And a fellow goes underneath me. Swims on. I don't even see him. And he comes right under. And he goes with his finger down my stomach. Nobody swam in that sea for about 3 days. It is the nearest thing I have ever done to in my life. I was across the water on the beach. When I was out there, I hired down on the coast a bungalow kind of shack hut, which we used to go for weekends. And we always get down there and have a few beers and swim and eat, laugh, joke. And then one of these Australian friends of mine said, "Hey, Dave, you want to be careful about the grass around here. It's getting very tall, and a lot of snakes, they live in the grass. You want to cut it." And I said, "Well, I'm never here. I only come here every 6 weeks or something. How the hell am I going?" He said, "Well, buy yourself a sheep. Tether him, and he'll eat up all the grass." So I thought it was a very good idea. I bought a sheep for £5. Tied him up. 6 months later, he's as big as a house. Wool everywhere. Somebody said, "You want to get him sheared? He'll dehydrate." So I go back to Sydney and I go through the yellow pages, sheep shearing. And unknown to me, I am ringing up the biggest sheep shearing company in the world. And I said, "I'm making inquiries about sheep shearing." The woman said, "1 second, please." And I was, "Believe you're making inquiries about sheep shearing?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, let me tell you our rates first. We shear sheep per 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. We've got different rates. We've got piece rate. We
We do hourly rate, weekly rate, monthly rate. It all depends on the number of sheep that you have, percentage loss, percentage gain. How many sheep do you have? I said, 1. He said, really? What's his bloody name?
Mind you, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you, and I mean this very sincerely. The Australians are perhaps one of the most hospitable and generous people in the world. I mean, if you're stuck for a night, they'll give you a bed. You haven't got a drink, they'll give you a drink. Got no money, they'll give you money. The food, they'll take the food off the plate and give it to you. It's those white Australians I don't like. Somehow or another, I don't think this show is going to be sold to Australia.